Gentlemen, we're going to do Unit 2 Learning Target 9 notes. So we're going to be talking about writing word problems that require substitution. So we're going to take a day and we're just going to practice some word problems, okay? So we're just going to do a couple on this note sheet here. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at number 1. So Campus Rentals rents 2 and 3 bedroom apartments for $700 and $900 per month, respectively. Last month, they had 6 vacant apartments and reported $4,600 in lost rent. So what I am going to do is I'm going to let X represent the number of 2-bedroom apartments and Y represent the number of 3-bedroom apartments. So the number of vacant $2 apartments or 2-bedroom apartments and 3-bedroom apartments adds up to 6 total vacant apartments. For every X 2-bedroom apartment that we have vacant, we're losing $700. For every Y 3-bedroom, we're losing $900. That's going to add up to $4,600 in lost revenue. So now we're going to solve this using substitution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this equation for X. So I'm going to subtract Y from both sides. You could also solve it for Y if you wanted to. Plus 6 minus Y. So now I know that X is equal to that. So where I see X over here, I can plug this in. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to plug that in for X. So I get 700 times 6 minus 7, or 6 minus Y, goodness, Miss Humbert, plus 900Y is equal to 4,600. So now I'm going to take and distribute in that 700. So 700 times 6 is going to give me 4,200. Then we're going to take negative 700, or 700 times negative y is negative 700y, plus 900y is equal to 4,600. So now when you add those two together, you get 200y. And that's going to be equal to 4,600. So now what I'm going to do, since that's a positive 4,200, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4,200. 200y is equal to 4,600 minus 4,200, which is going to give you 400, not 4,000, 400. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 200. And when I do that, I get that y is equal to 2. Now remember that y represents 3-bedroom apartments. So I'm going to have 2 3-bedroom apartments. So now I know that y is equal to 2. So when I go up to the original problems, I could plug that in for y here, here, or even here. Well, this one's already solved for x, so that's going to be the easiest one to plug it into. So then I'm going to get that x is equal to 6 minus 2, which is going to give me 4. So that means that there are 4 vacant 2-bedroom apartments. Okay, so that's your answer for number 2. Next, let's go ahead and let's take a look at that was yours for number 1. Let's take a look at number 2. The second of 2 numbers is 5 more than the first. The sum of the numbers is 44. Find the numbers. So the sum of the numbers is 44. So I'm going to focus on that first. So that means my 2 numbers are going to add to 44. Okay, then let's read through this. The second of 2 numbers is. Second, that's going to be represented by y. Now whenever you see is means equals. Is 5 more, more means plus. So 5 more than twice the first. Now twice the first literally means 2 times the first one. So y is equal to 5 plus 2x, and then that's going to be substituted in for the 5 plus 2x. For the y. So I'm going to take y out completely and I'm going to put 5 plus 2x in instead, and that's going to be equal to 44. So now what I want to do is combine my x's. So I see that my x's are on the same side of the equal sign. So all I have to do are add the 2 x's together. So I get 3x plus 5 is equal to 44. Then I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5 from both sides, and I get that 3x is equal to 39. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get that x is equal to 13. So x is equal to 13. So where I see x here or here, I can plug in 13. Well, I see again that this equation right here is already solved for y, so I'm going to plug it into that one. You could plug it into the other one and it would still work. So I'm going to take x out completely, and I'm going to put in 13 instead. Maybe, if it'll let me. There we go. So then we're going to get 5 plus 2 times 13 is 26. 5 plus 26 is going to be 31. So y is equal to 31. So then my solutions are 13, 31 for that one. Okay? Next, let's take a look at number 3. So taking a look at number 3, it says the state fair is a popular field trip destination. The senior class at Apple Valley High School and the senior class at Eastview High School both planned their trips there. The senior class at Apple Valley High School rented and filled 8 vans and 8 buses with 240 students. Eastview High School rented and filled 4 vans and 1 bus with 54 students. Every van had the same number of students in it as did the buses. Find the number of students in each van and in each bus. So let's go ahead and let's look at that. So we're going to let x represent the number of students that are in a van. We're going to let y represent the number of students that are in the bus. So the first thing I want to do is set up Apple Valley. So for the x number of students in the van, I took 8 buses at Apple Valley. For the y number of buses, I took 8 of them at Apple Valley, and that added up to 240 students. So then I rented and filled the 4 vans with X number of people and 1 bus with Y number of people at Eastview, and that was only 54. So now we need to solve this, and you could use elimination, but I'm going to use substitution. So I'm going to go ahead and solve this second equation for y. So I have 4x plus y is equal to 54. So to solve it for y, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 4x from both sides. So I get y is equal to a negative 4x plus 54. So y is equal to that. Y and negative 4x plus 54 are the same thing. So where I see y up there, that's what I'm going to plug in. So I'm going to have 8x plus 8 times a negative 4x plus 54. I took that y out and I put that chunk in instead. And that's going to be equal to 240. So now I'm going to take that 8 and distribute it in. So I have 8x. 8 times negative 4 is negative 32x. And 8 times 54 is 432. And that's going to be equal to 240. So 8x minus 32x is negative 24x plus 432 is equal to 240. So now I need to subtract 432 from both sides. Okay, then I get negative 24x is equal to a negative 192. So then I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by a negative 24. And when I do that, I get that x is equal to 8. So that's the number of students that are in a van. So then I take a look at the y, and I already solved one of those equations for y. I got y is equal to negative 4x plus 54. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 8 for x. So I'm going to do 4, and instead of writing x, I'm going to do 8. And then I'm going to add 54. So I'm going to have y is equal to 4 times 8 plus 54. So that's going to be y is equal to 32. Oops, this should be a negative 4. So negative 32 plus 54. And then I end up getting that y is equal to 22. Now remember that y represents the number of students that are in the bus. So there are 22 students that are in the bus. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at number 4. It says that Brenda is selling tickets to the spring musical. On the first day of ticket sales, she sold 3 senior citizen tickets and 9 child tickets for a total of $75. The school took in $67 on the second day, by selling 8 senior tickets and 5 child tickets. What is the price of 1 senior ticket and 1 child ticket? So I'm going to let X represent the senior citizen tickets. So that's usually like 55 plus. And I'm going to let Y represent the child ticket. Now each of these are representing the price of each of those. Okay, so let's take a look at the first day. On the first day, she sold 3 senior citizen tickets at price X, and she sold 9 child's tickets at price Y, and that was equal to 75. The second day, she sold 8 senior citizen tickets at price X and 5 child tickets at price Y, and that was equal to 67. So to do this by substitution, I'm going to go ahead and solve that top equation for X. Okay, so I'm going to solve that top equation for X. So I have 3X plus 9Y is equal to 75. So the first thing I'm going to do is just subtract 9Y from both sides. When you pick what variable you want to solve for, you want to pick which one is not going to give you a fraction. You can still do it with fractions, but it's definitely a lot harder. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by 3. So then I get that X is equal to a negative 3Y plus 25. So X is equal to that. So I'm going to substitute it into the equation that says 8X plus 5Y is equal to 67. So where the X is, I'm going to take the X out and I'm going to put 3Y plus 25 in instead. And then I'm going to keep the rest of the equation exactly the same, and I'm going to continue solving. So I'm going to start by distributing in the 8. So I get negative 24Y plus 200 plus 5y is equal to 67. So negative 24 and 5y are on the same side. So I can go ahead and add them together. So I get negative 19y plus 200 is equal to 67. So I'm going to subtract 200 from both sides, and I end up getting that negative 19y is equal to negative 133. So then I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 19, and I end up getting that y is equal to $7 for the child ticket. Now remember that y represents the child ticket. So I already went through the work to solve for x. Remember I said that x was equal to negative 3y plus 25. So x is going to be equal to negative 3. Now instead of having the y, I'm putting in 7. Plus 25. So I get negative 21 plus 25, and that's going to be equal to $4. So it's going to be $4 for seniors. So that concludes your note video for today. I'm going to have you guys skip problems 5 and 6. And just for working so hard, you only have to do the front side of practice 9. So you only have to do problems 1, 2, and 3 on practice 9 because I know word problems can be tough. So you are welcome. That concludes your note video. Thanks for listening.